Hello friends, in this particular video I'm going to talk about how user would provide input inside a Django backend framework. But for that I need to use something called AJAX. Why I want AJAX? Because I want to go for asynchronous communication. I don't want the entire page should be loaded each time when you perform some data insertion or data updation or manipulation process. I just want the modified data should be reflected at the front end, while the rest of the data let it be as it is. So that will be a proper utilization of memory as well as the bandwidth. So let's see how it's going to work. So over here, this is a page that is coming in picture. So for that reason, let's open the Django application. I have a project by the name called third. So let's get inside the third folder, and over here we have got urls.py. So at the very initial level you have got this particular route. So control will go to the home method or home function, and let me click on this, and it is simply showing you the particular template present inside the category directory. So over here I have got the template directory. Inside that I have a folder called category, and inside that I have a page called home.html. So this is what you were seeing right at the initial go. So using AJAX in Django for user import. So that's what you were seeing it. So far so good. Apart from that, you have got, like, initially the base.html will get loaded and it will embed the content. The content of this home will actually, this is the title of the content that's get embedded right over here. Along with that you have got the navbar.html. So if I want to change the route, that means if I want to click on the register tab, let's go and see what is there inside the navbar. So here it comes inside the include folder. I have a navbar. So when I will be clicking on register, it will give a call to the register route. So let's come to the urls.py. We have a register route over here, and that will take us to the function called register. So this is a function that will come in action, right? Okay, so let's go and check what is there inside the register now. So since I'm clicking on the register for the first time, so that means the register would have a request.method equals to of type get. Now what is this request? The request is actually an argument for the function register. So that means when I'm clicking on this hypertext, this request is actually going to be an instance of HTTP request type. So what type of request is this? You are requesting the server, you are requesting Django that please provide me a template. So that's the reason why it is saying the request and method equals to get. So when it is a get, that means as you are tapping on this particular registered hypertext with the intention that Django will open a template, or Django will forward a template to the browser, and eventually I will get to see the template. Isn't it like that? It's like, let's take an example, like you are asking someone to give a glass of water. So how would you put forward the statement? You will say, get me a glass of water. So you consider yourself to be the browser, and the person whom you are requesting is the server, is Django, and the glass of water is nothing but a template. So you're asking Django to give a template, and Django eventually will serve the template to you. And for that reason we have a page over here called register.html that would get open. Okay, so let's close all the other pages and let's now open register.html, and here it comes. Let me click at the background also. So as I click on register, you get to see the template right in front. So we are right now over here. Now during this interaction, you are the browser is actually interacting with the Django. Until now, AJAX, is AJAX involved? No. Until now AJAX is not involved, because as you can see over here, you are simply sending a request and the request has been served to you directly. So over here AJAX is no way important, or AJAX is nowhere related at this point of time. AJAX will come in picture the time when you will be providing input to these DOM elements. As you submit the form, then AJAX will get into the picture. And before that, let me show you one more thing. As you can see over here, a statement has been shown, DOM is ready. DOM means document object model is ready. So where from this particular statement is coming? As we can see right over here, we don't have this particular statement. Even in the register.html, if you go through it, you don't have this particular statement. So where it is coming from? In fact, if I even come to the base route, so if I remove the register tab, and if I hit the enter, then also you will find DOM is ready. So where from it is coming? Are you thinking that it will come from base.html? Well, let me open and show you that inside base.html also I don't have this particular tab. Do you think that is there in the navbar? Let me open that. It is not even there in the navbar as well. Hey man, so from where it is coming? Well, it is coming from AJAX. To be more specific, it is coming from jQuery. Yes, you rightly heard, it is coming from jQuery. So jQuery has a built-in function called document.ready. Let me show you that. So for that reason, you have to go to the script. And remember, these configurations we need to do in the settings. So we have a folder called script, static. Sorry, it's not script, static. Inside the static, I have a JavaScript within which I've written the AJAX. So let me open this. As you see over here, document.ready. Here exactly I've written this particular line. So that means what I'm trying to say is, if you implement jQuery, definitely you have to go and give a call to document.ready function. This function gets activated immediately after the DOM elements appear on the browser. I repeat, document.ready function, it gets activated itself automatically. You don't have to do anything. It will be called automatically by the browser the moment when the DOM elements of the browser or the template will be rendered. After the template has rendered the DOM element, it will give a call to the document.ready, and that's the reason why this particular console statement you can see right over here. But yes, this particular function is not yet been called. Why? Because it is based on a particular DOM. So unless and until that any event takes place about that DOM, this particular function will not get called. Well, what do I mean by event? Well, as you can see over here, there is an event called click. So only when a click event is performed on the given DOM, then only this particular function is going to be executed. But that's not the case with the ready function. Ready function in general will be executed irrespective of whether a person is performing an event handling or not. So that means every time you are getting into a particular page, the DOM element will be loaded for the first time for that particular page, and the ready function will be called automatically. Now later on, when I will be clicking on this particular button, at that point of time you will not see this particular line appearing twice. So at that point of time, only this particular function will be working. So ready function will be executed automatically the time when the browser will load all the DOM elements, and it gets executed only for the first time. After that, subsequently, whatever DOM event you are working on, at that point of time, this particular statement is not going to work. So it will be activated at the very beginning, right? So now let's come to the register.html page. That particular page was provided by the request. Now, what do you see in the register.html? As I tap over here, register, you get to see a couple of text box are there and a button is there. That's what you are seeing, right? Not exactly. Why? Remember, this particular text box or this particular page is coming from Django as you did a request. So with the help of the view, you requested that give me a template. So Django provides the template to you. Now, that's fine. And because of that reason, you are able to see it in the browser. The problem comes right over here is, Django want to ensure that user after filling the form will also submit back the data to the server. And at that point of time, I want to be sure that the data is coming or the form is coming from the right place where I have forwarded, so that in between hackers cannot get into picture. So how exactly Django will ensure that I was responsible, that means Django itself was responsible for generating the server page, and in between there has been no tamper of the data, how it will ensure. And for that reason, what you cannot see over here is there is a hidden field is here, and that hidden field is called CSRF token. Let's right click, come to the inspect element. Let me go to the inspect over here to show you that element. If I come to the container, if I click this, if I come to the form, let's expand the form. Here you can see there is a hidden text box is there, and the name of the text box is called CsrfViewMiddleware token, and it has got some value. Remember, this particular CSRF token has been generated by Django server. The time when you requested the page, Django created a CSRF token for you because Django understood that in this particular page there are text box. So later on, user would give the input and will resubmit the page to the server itself. So server want to ensure that the data which the page which server has generated, that page, and later on when the user will resubmit the data, that page, both are same. And for that reason, this CSRF token which the server has already generated, server will maintain a copy of the CSRF token with itself, and later on when the page will be resubmitted, that token and the token which it has got previously, they will be compared. If the comparison is found to be true, then only the processing will take place, otherwise it will say the resource is invalid. So remember always, the CSRF token is being generated by the server, along with the template, and then it will be forwarded to the browser. After user fill the form, when the user will click on submit button, when the resubmit takes place, this CSRF token will be compared with the CSRF token that is there in the server. If both the comparisons found to be true, then only the page will be executed, otherwise not. That's how Django maintains the no tamper of data will be taking place. That's great approach, and for that reason there are a couple of middleware that comes in picture inside the settings.py. So just as a glance, I want to show you that if you come to settings.py, you will find couple of middlewares are there. One is called SessionMiddleware and the other one is called CsrfViewMiddleware. This token, the CSRF token which Django developed at the time before it sent the page to the browser, that CSRF token Django will retain inside the session variable. That's the reason the security session is, which is very important. I believe this one, session middleware, is very important. So it will retain the CSRF token inside the session, so that particular CSRF token is valid throughout the entire session as long as the user is logged in. The moment user is logged out, the session will be expired, as well as the CSRF token will be expired as well. Okay, so remember this, the CSRF token is generated by Django before the template is been forwarded to the browser, and the CSRF token is actually stored within the session variable so that it is consistent all throughout the entire session. Okay, now coming back, so once the user has created this particular form, as you can see over here, each document, each DOM element has got respective ID and name. Why it is so? Because this ID will be used by JavaScript or jQuery or CSS, whereas the name attribute will be used by Django. So later on, if you come to the, let me open this, if you come to the AJAX, let me split the screen so that it is much easy for you to figure out. So let me expand this. So later on, as you can see over here, let me wrap the text. Yeah, so when I will be submitting the form, at that point of time, how exactly it works? So here is my page, here's my page, the user will fill the data, and then user will click on submit button. Let me come to the console once again, and let me make it wider enough. So user will fill the data and will submit the button, right? The moment the user will submit the button, at that point of time is exactly when the AJAX is getting called, because the button has an ID. And look, the ID of the button is category underscore register underscore BTN. Then this particular button will be activated, and it is picking up the data in the form of ID. That's the reason we have got hash, and since you are working on jQuery, for that reason $$ is required. So the event that button got fired is a click event. So the input that came, the button as an input which was given when the user clicked on the button, at that point of time this particular function is getting fired, and the event associated is a click event. And by default, within the click event, there will be an anonymous function that is provided. The default behavior of the button click is to submit the form, and that's what I don't want. For that reason, you have to write this particular statement, prevent default. So prevent default means I want to restrict the default behavior of getting the page loaded. That will be restricted, and this particular console statement will be displayed just to ensure that yes, you are inside this particular function. So this function is present inside the ready function. So this line will be getting printed. See, initially this line is not printed over here. See, we are still seeing the DOM is ready, but when I will click on the button, at that point of time this particular line will get printed. So first what we are doing is that with the help of the ID attribute, it is picking up the respective data, and look, since we are using ID, that's the reason hash is used. So .val is a function that will pick up the respective data from this particular text box as well as from this text box, and it will store inside these two respective variables. And now we are going to give a call to the AJAX. This entire portion of AJAX is actually as a whole is one complete unit, but the way it works is it will have 50% will work initially and later on 50%. The first three properties or three particular key will be worked initially. When the response will come back from Django, then the success or error would be coming in picture. So remember, if you split this entire AJAX, there will be two segments. The first segment will be the URL, that the URL where you want to go. So this URL is /register/. So that will bring us to my urls.py, and here is a route that will bring me to this particular view function again. So that's how it will be targeting the backend page. The method which I'm doing is post, because I'm sending couple of data, so I don't want to show this data in the URL. Had this been a get request, data will come in the URL, which I don't want to show. For that reason I'm going for post. So this method is of type post. That means when the register comes over here, this register has an attribute called method, and this method is now post because it is no longer get. So data will be shown within the data will be passed within the form, and it will ensure the security. Now I'm sending an object in the form of data, and this object in the form of key value pair, like the particular key which I have given the name over here, the particular key I have given the name over here, and make sure you will also pass the middleware token. This is very important because of this line your Django will check whether the CSRF token is actually matching or not. We just now saw the CSRF token was there, right? So let me come back to the console application once again, and if I come to implement, so this CSRF token will be forwarded. So for that reason, this particular statement will play a very important role. You have to forward this, otherwise your application will not going to work. So with the help of the CSRF token, it will just check whether the token that was generated by server initially and the token which it has received along with the form, are they same or not. So that what will be evaluated. Okay. So after this three particular key getting executed, the control will come right over here, and now it is going to pick up the data from the DOM element. So we have over here a couple of DOMs, and the ID what I have given, the name what I have given. So if you come to my HTML, here the name I have given is category name and category remark. So this name will be responsible for picking up the data, as you can see right over here. Since I didn't do anything much about with the remark, for that reason it is showing inactive. So with the help of the request.post, so post is one of the attribute inside the request instance, and the get method will be responsible for picking up the data and will be stored inside this particular variable. But before that, I want to check that whether data is inside this particular variable at all or not. In case if data is not there, then I want to send a response in the form of JSON back to my template. So see over here, I'm staying back in the same template. So that's the reason I'm not using the render function, because I'm staying in the same template. I just want to provide a message coming from the backend, and that is in the form of JSON response coming from this particular module, that is Django.htp. So this is the package, and this is my class name. This is the class name. Okay. So here I'm sending the data, and this data has got key value pair. I'm writing an acknowledgement. I'm writing a question. So I want to redirect this data, and this data will come and get stored inside the response of the success. So here it will getting stored. So I want to check that inside the response, do I have a key by acknowledgement? Yes, I have a key. And is the message, that is statement coming from the Django, is it blank field detected? If it is so, this condition becomes true. Then inside the HTML, I have got one span tag by the name called error, where this particular line will be displayed, blank field detected. So here I have got one span tag by the name called category-name-error. So there where the message will get displayed. So let me just come over here and let me resubmit the page once again. Let me come over here to show you that even the DOM element is still getting executed, but this particular line is not yet fired. Now it will get fired when I will click on the button. So imagine I did not give any input to any of these text box, and I click on the save button. The moment I do that, see, this particular statement got fired, and now you can see the message blank field detected right over here. So this particular statement blank field detected that got displayed inside my span tag, which is showing me the error. But what if I have given the input? In that case, this particular statement, if decision will become false, so it will come over here and it will display, it will pass the data in the form of category name, and that data will come right over here in the response, and this time it is not matching with this particular statement. So if condition fails, the else part comes in picture. First I will remove those two input which I have given inside my text box, couple of text box. The error message is still showing, that also I will remove, and finally there is a empty div tag called acknowledgement, where I will display this particular input that is coming, category name and acknowledgement. So if you come to your HTML, over here I have got one empty div tag. This will be the place where this particular message will be displayed, and the error message will be shown, because here I have removed the error message, and initial input which I was taking, that also will be removed, so that I can go for further input. Let's come and let's check this one. I know the video already become very long, so let me come over here. So let me now give no input now, still showing the same message. Let me give the input, like suppose computer, and let me write the remarker, it's excellent, it's good. And now when I will click on this, it will remove this content of the first text box, second text box, as well as the error message will be removed, and the message in the paragraph tag, which is the acknowledgement, there where it is coming, which you can see right over here. So this is the acknowledgement that has been shown, and here is a place where it is displayed. Oh my god, the video has been pretty long, I know, but overall I hope you have understood how the flow of AJAX takes place, and on the top of that, what is the relevance of CSRF token, which is very crucial for any request that is coming in the form of post. Remember, these things will be ensuring in context to post, put, delete, because you are going to perform data modification, and Django want to be very secure enough that when you are performing any kind of data manipulation, they should be safe and secure. Okay, so that's all from this video presentation. See you soon. Bye bye.